Welcome to Sports Express with Spencer Davidson and Chelsea Sherrod. Brought to you by Scalzo, Zogby & Wittig and the law offices of Ricardo J. Morrow.
Coming up aboard the Express is a local matchup in men's basketball as Utica College visits Hamilton in Clinton.
Plus, the Comets begin 2020 with a date against the Springfield Thunderbirds in Utica.
But first, it's time for tonight's big game. The Brookfield Beavers headed to take on the undefeated Redskins of Oriskany. Brookfield coming into this game with a 3-5 record. Oriskany, hot start. They're sitting at 4-0. 1 minute into the game, Oriskany combating a 3-2 zone. Senior Ryan Jock thinks about taking it, but passes it off to Steven Armstrong for the three to score his first bucket of the game.
30 seconds later, the Redskins are in transition, and Colton Davis decides to hit his defender with a fake and a little baby Euro step to score.
Wow. Just over 5 minutes to go in the first. Davis to Nolan Bryant, who gives a great pass to Armstrong for the bucket. Great court vision. That puts them up 9-0.
Good stuff. It took a little while for Brookfield to get going, but they started to chip away in this game. Colt Morgan to Caleb Warden for the and one. He finished with 15 points. That cuts the lead to 12.
The Redskins would go into the half with a 13-point lead and would keep that lead for the rest of the game. They go on to win at 82-59 and extend their undefeated record to 5-0. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Express. So, Oriskany getting it done.
Yep.
They got a tough stretch here coming up. A lot of games because they haven't played a lot of games here early in the schedule, but they're starting off 2020 on a high note.
Definitely, and we are too. It's our first Sports Express of 2020. We're so excited. We're off for the holiday, but we're back, and so are some of our local athletes, so they're back in action as well. REMSEN went on the road to take on New York Mills tonight for some boys basketball action. And Spencer, this was a fun one to watch.
Right.
It was a close game at the half. New York Mills was only up 2 points, so we head to the third quarter. Griffin Klossner with the steal, and he's on the attack. He fakes like he's passing it and goes up with the floater for 2.
All right, 6.5 minutes to go in the third. Marauders with the ball out on the wing. Antonio Tallarico is in good position in the post. Goes straight up for the lay-in. 1
minute later, REMSEN is pressing full court, but New York Mills has a plan for that. You feed the big man. They advance the ball quickly and lobs it to Tallarico, who lays it in again. He finished with 16 points.
New York Mills went on a run in the third quarter. Here's Logan Copperwheat, who is pushing the ball, takes it all the way. Everyone's fired up. Even the coach is fired up. You love to see that. And Copperwheat had 31 points on the night. New York Mills would go on to win this one 75-61. Not sure where I got those original numbers from.
In Clinton on the girls' side, it's the Warriors hosting Holland Patton in a CSC Division I matchup. Third quarter of this one, Golden Knights were on a roll. Anna Healy spots up from beyond the arc and drills it for 3. She finished the night with 8 points.
Next trip down the floor, Hayden Roberts, strong to the hoop, banks it in. HP with a 16-point lead.
Nice. A couple of minutes later, it's Roberts again, this time off a beautiful lead pass from Hannah Corrigan. 15 points, 18 rebounds, double-double for Hayden, who is 28 points away from 1,000 in her career.
Warriors not going down without a fight, though. Gianna Trunfio through contact, up and in for the bucket.
Good stuff. Right back down the other way, Kirsten Lighthall with the floater in the lane. The Golden Knights move ahead of the Warriors in the league standings as they go on to win 42-30.
All right, switching gears to the ice now. Comets kick off 2020 tonight. They look to begin this calendar year the same way that they really left off in 2019.
Right, and the team has won 5 of its last 6 games, but have gotten at least 1 point in each of those 6.
To the Adirondack Bank Center, Comets hosting the Springfield Thunderbirds for the first time this season. Forward Reed Boucher named to his 3rd straight All-Star Classic today. Defenseman Brogan Rafferty will be joining him in his rookie year. First period, T-Birds come in 2-on-1. Jack Roldewald with the sauce to Joel Lowry, who goes to the backhand. Nearly 9 minutes in, Springfield grabs the lead.
The Comets had chances all period, but it took it until the end on the penalty kill. Wasey Hamilton, little give and go with Carter Banks, Hamilton's shot is stopped, but Banks puts it in for the rebound. Comets shorthanded, but tie it up with 0.2 of a second left.
Well, in the second, Comets on the power play now. Zane McIntyre gives it up. Jonathan Ang makes him pay. Picks the top corner. There's a shorty for the Birds, who retake the lead.
And with 2.5 minutes left, Sven Berchi starts to play, and he's going to end it. Goes hard to the net and slides in a rebound off a shot by Hamilton. We're tied at 2.
So it looked like we were heading into another intermission deadlocked, right? Well, Springfield had other ideas. And tip it off the feed from Alexi Sorella. Thunderbirds back on top with 1.6 seconds to play.
Wow.
And that'd be all they needed. No goals in the third period from either side. Comets drop this one 3-2. Well, that'll take us to the first intermission here on Sports Express. Still to come, this week's featured athlete of the week.
But coming up next, it's back to the hardwood in Clinton for a local rivalry battle as the Pioneers of Utica take on the Continentals of Hamilton.
If you want to join the conversation on Twitter, use hashtag SportsExpress. This is Sports Express, brought to you by Scalzo, Zogby & Wittig and the law offices of Ricardo J. Morrow.
Welcome back aboard the Express. Two of our local Division III men's basketball programs squared off this afternoon. The Utica College Pioneers and the Hamilton Continentals.
That's right. And one cool note about this matchup, there's only 3 losses between the two teams so far this season. 1 for Hamilton and 2 for Utica. Both of these programs started off the season strong. Early in the first half, the Pioneers are bringing the ball up, and the freshman, Brett Talbert, dishes it to the big guy, Kemedrick Murphy, who finishes with the soft touch. He had 11 on the night.
Get out of his way. About 4 minutes in, Thomas Morial on the wing and hits his defender with a step back, rises up for the 3. It's good. Utica takes a 6-point lead.
Now we're halfway through the first. Spencer Kendall dribbles right and hits Elliot Turbasso with a backdoor pass and a nice finish. The Continentals take the lead.
11 minutes into the first, Utica sophomore Darius Hopkins goes up off both feet and finishes strong in traffic. Oh yeah, and gets the foul.
He was balling today. In the half court, he takes his defender off the dribble, does a nice turnaround fadeaway jumper. That was pretty. He led the Pioneers with 18 points tonight, and they would go on to win it 104-97. And one crazy stat from this game, Utica shot 48 of 59 from the free throw line. That's a lot of fouls.
Well, one reason why you're in triple-digit scoring, right?
Right.
All right, down the hill tonight, the Hamilton men's ice hockey team took on Skidmore at the Clinton Arena. First period, it's the Thoroughbreds getting on the board first. Right off a faceoff, Reed Russell from the point through traffic and in. Continentals go into the locker room down 1.
In the second, John Beniers with a strong battle in front, shot is blocked, fights off defender for a second chance, and puts that one home for Hamilton. We're tied at 1-1.
Get off me, he said. Just under 5 minutes to play, Nick Urcity is sprung on a breakaway. Check this out. He gets stopped, but it hits off the end boards, comes right out to Sean Thompson in front, who knocks it out of midair on the follow-up. Hand-eye coordination on point. Hamilton took their first lead of the game. Now, Skidmore would tie it back up in the third, though, and overtime couldn't solve this one, so it ends a 2-2 tie.
You know how I feel about ties.
Ties, yeah. I don't know. Well, I guess impartial. Ties are okay, right? No.
Sure, I guess. That'll do it for period number 2 on the Express. Still some important stuff to get to.
Yeah, coming up next, we unveil our first athlete of the week here in 2020, and hint, you already saw him earlier in the show.
For final scores and video highlights from tonight's games, log on to WKTV.com. This is Sports Express Athlete of the Week, brought to you by Scalzo, Zogby & Wittig and the law offices of Ricardo J. Morrow.
Welcome back to Sports Express. It's time now to unveil our Athlete of the Week. As you heard earlier, coming into the night, the ORISKANY boys basketball team was off to a perfect 4-0 start.
Now, of course, if you're going to be out to a perfect start, there are many players on the team who have helped contribute to the success so far, and we're going to take a look at one of those players now.
Stephen Armstrong, a senior forward for ORISKANY, worked his way into the starting lineup last year and hasn't looked back. This year, he's leading the team's offense, coming into tonight, averaging over 15 points per game, and is tied for the team lead with 3-point field goals. He scored in double figures in all of his team's contests so far and is shooting just under 50% from the field. Able to play on both sides of the ball, he is also leading the team in blocks, is tied for the team lead in rebounds, and is second on the team in steals. In his senior year, Armstrong is trying to savor every moment, playing a sport he loves with some of his best friends.
It's a fun time. We're having a good time out there. We go out there, do our best every night. Our chemistry is one of the best. I think that's why we're doing so good, because we have really great chemistry. We've grown up since kindergarten with each other, so we know how we play.
As he's grown as both a player and person, he never forgets those who have been there to help influence him along the way.
Well, my dad, he teaches me everything I know, and he works with me all the time, so on my skills. It's awesome. He's there no matter what. Him and my mom, my whole family's been super supportive for me, and I really appreciate it.
And as for how he views his game,
I think I'm all around, not too special in any category, but a little bit of each category.
He's a great student, he's a great athlete, a great teammate, and he's probably even a better person. Like he said, he's not a vocal leader, but he just comes to practice every day, works hard. I never have to really get on him to practice harder, play harder, and he leads by example. He slithers into the lane and makes some reverse layups and shots that you don't see that often. He's not a high flyer by any means, but he's a good ball handler. He shoots the ball well from the perimeter. I want to say last season he shot almost 50% from threes. And this year he's not quite there yet, but he's definitely a threat inside and outside.
Good stuff. If you know of a high school athlete who deserves to be Athlete of the Week, here's our contact information. Call, email, or find us on social media. Just send us who you would like to be nominated and why. All featured athletes will receive a plaque courtesy of CNY Awards and apparel.
All right, so and again, Stephen Armstrong, just one of many players on ORISKANY getting it done right now. 5-0 so far this year.
I know, that's awesome.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Now, tomorrow, coming up really quick, the Mohawk Valley Classic, yearly tournament. It's the 4th annual this year, taking place at Utica College. Games from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. and beyond. So
I'm excited about that.
It
So
should be a lot
good
of fun.
time.
Great event every year.
Yep.
That's it for us, though. We will see you back here next Friday night for another edition of Sports Express.
This has been Sports Express, brought to you by Scalzo, Zogby & Whitting and the law offices of Ricardo J. Morrow.